All right, this is No Excuses with Michael DiLeonardo. I'm your host, RJ Roger. And guys, before we start the show, what I want to share is we don't need channel donations. We don't need anyone's money. If you want to support our channel, the best way you can support our channel is by subscribing to the channel, liking the video that you watch if you enjoy it, leaving a comment. Also, if you like it, share it, tell your friends about it, post it on your social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything that you are on. If you like our channel, if you like what we're doing, please spread the word. Help us get the word out. And that's the best way you can support the channel. But you can start with hitting subscribe. Michael, how you doing?
All right. How's everything? Very good intro. Very good.
Thank you. Next question. You still go to the batting cage every now and then, right?
Oh, it's been a while, but yeah, I go.
You pretty good?
I need about 15 swings, yeah. If I still have
I saw the picture. You look pretty good swing. You're pretty good with a baseball bat, right?
Oh, yeah, I can swing. I've been playing ball since I'm a kid. I always had a pretty even. I wasn't a home run hitter. I was a pain in the ass singles and gap hitter.
All right. Well, you're pretty good with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear John Alight's good with a baseball bat.
He was a good player too. He was a good ball player. He was a good baseball player from what I understand.
He's good with a baseball bat. He even sells them. Here's my question. You and John Alight go to a batting cage. Who performs better in a batting cage?
Oh, he's in good shape. He's in good shape. Give me 15 swings. I don't know. He's in pretty good shape. He's younger than me. I got him by at least a decade. Maybe let's say a little bit, maybe a decade, a little more. But I'll hit the ball. I'll compete.
So who's better with a baseball?
I'll compete with the youngster.
So who's better with the baseball bat? Batting cage.
Batting cage.
Batting cage. Who's winning?
By what he says, he's better.
All right. No, who hits the? You both get 10 balls. Who's hitting the most?
I need 15 to start out with a warm up.
All right. Next question. You're the captain.
Is he trying to say that we both hit people with baseball bats?
No, it was fun. It was a fun question. It's just fun. He posted a picture with a baseball bat. He talks about baseball bats a lot. Man.
I still have good wrists. I still have good. I still could swing.
No, it's fun. You're the captain. Boss comes to you, says, pick any crew you can lead. I have two crews that I gotta up somebody to. You pick which one you want. Crew number 1. Tommy Gambino, Jackie Knows D'Amico, DB. Crew number 2, Roy DeMeo, Bobby Borriello, Sammy the Bull. What crew are you taking and why?
Number 1. I can sleep at night.
That's a good answer.
Now, that wasn't rehearsed, right? None of this has been rehearsed.
No, I didn't share none of this with. All right. That's a good answer.
And the other guys, who was Borriello? I love Borriello. He was a great guy. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Sammy, very capable. And what'd you say, Roy DeMeo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you had to worry about what was going on when you were sleeping with Roy. That's for sure. So it could be nothing but trouble. Okay. No. Number 1, I sleep. Hey, listen, RJ. I wanted all old timers with me. I was taking old timers and putting them in my crew when I was in the street.
Okay.
Billy Mordecai, Joe Brewster. I was taking all the old timers.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to. I didn't need killers. The killers, there was killers in the family. I had a couple of tough guys with me in time, but again, guys that I knew wouldn't be a pain in the ass. And the guys that Junior at times wanted to give me, I refused to be with me. It's. I didn't have to have that. I didn't have to have that rep of walking in a restaurant with 5 murderers. It wasn't necessary for me.
Cosa Nostra. I'm giving you 2 ways to answer it. Pick the one that most fits what it is, okay? Cosa Nostra is a group of criminals. Cosa Nostra is B, a society understood only by its members.
By its memories?
By its members.
Oh, by its members. Something to ponder. Of course, it's one and the same. It's a meld because you can't have Cosa Nostra, going back to the fear factor, without criminals. Going back to the finger pinch again. I don't want anybody to get mad at me. You're pinching your finger to kill people, to keep control of the family. For whatever reason, outside, inside forces, whatever it is, you're taking that oath. The first and foremost thing you're doing, and the biggest crime you could do, is a murder. So without that in the blood oath, it's a club. So when you talk about criminality, can't get a worse crime. I'm not talking about child molestation or rape, or that has nothing to do with us. With crime, that's you're at your limit. So the part of the criminality of that, into what you said about its history and the formation and the control, it's one and the same. It's a hard thing to parse out and say you can't. I deem myself a criminal. When I take a piss, when I was in that life, it was a criminal piss. Anything you do in that life doesn't lead to calling the cops. You call your brothers. You adjudicate beefs within the family, your own society, your own government. So you're a criminal because you're breaking laws in doing so. You just get together. You go to the boss. You tell him this guy did X, Y, and Z. The boss says, can I kill him? He gives you a yay or a nay. So that's a criminal act. If you say, I'm going to open up a bookmaking. I had bookmaking place. I had horse rooms, sports rooms, right? I had to go get permission for that. I committed a crime. Victimless, supposedly, right? People come there, they give you the money to bet on a horse, bet on a game. But in our laws today, it's a crime to be a bookmaker. Well, not today. I'm talking about back then. Even though they're arresting guys for, I don't even know why they're arresting people today. The government's in the bookmaking business. But you're committing a crime. So as the word criminal is, everything you do is a crime. Even if you open up a fruit store, that fruit store. Somebody came in my place and gave me trouble. I'm not calling the cop. And I have stories about that too, with a cop in the store that I had to hire in New Jersey when I worked for Castellano. I didn't call the cops. I fought them. So literally, verbally at times, and I swung it up. So everything's a crime that you do that's going to lead to you to be a criminal in that life. Sure, are there other things to say? I had a guy tell me, Mike, this is a legitimate deal. There's no fucking thing you're doing legitimate. You don't fucking be legitimate. He didn't get it. No, it's legitimate. What's legitimate? You're going to call the cops? I won't mention his name. I'll save that story. You're going to call the cops? If they don't pay their rent, what are you going to call? What are you going to call Marshall? Throw them out? You're going to call nobody. You just called us.
But what if they keep paying? Is that legitimate?
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
But so is it legitimate now?
But the end result is you doing something in violation of a law. That's what makes you a criminal. When you violate law, you committed a crime, whether it be a misdemeanor or a felony. Most of us are felons across the board. So you can't define it by, if you were to tell me, just say, Michael, what were you in that life? Criminal.
Okay, let me press you on this a little, okay? Mm-hmm. Not long, just a second here. Joe Bonanno was offended. It looked like when Mike Wallace, don't quote me on this, but I think you called it a crime family or something. And he says, no, I was the father. I was the father of my family for my tradition that goes back hundreds of years. And I read his book, his interviews and things. he believed, to me, it appeared that, and he says in his book, quote unquote, all my life I've been misunderstood. He believed that it was a society, a brotherhood, a tradition, a way of life that was tailored to the Sicilian people or the Italian people, we can say it more broader, and it was something to be loved and respected and cherished, and not something that he saw at. To me, it looked like he didn't see it as this criminal organization. He saw it as this. He called it beautiful, a beautiful society. I want to say is what he called it.
Well, he encapsulated what the idea is. But let me ask you, when they were dealing drugs with the Bonanno family, did he think that was beautiful? When he was whacking guys out, did he think it was beautiful? When he put up somebody go kill a couple of bosses in another family, was it beautiful? Was it not criminal? Was it? Joe Bonanno got delusional. She never wrote that book. That was a disaster. Till today. Rico statue. Yeah. Did he have all that in his heart? But he ordered murders. They dealt drugs. They shook down people. Did he? He was partners in a company called Grande Cheese, the best cheese you could use on pizza in the whole world, baby. And I'm going to say the world. I'm going to say because I don't want to. I never ate pizza outside the world. In the United States, Grande Cheese is big. He was a partner there. What? So many things he was involved in, legitimate. His mind ran away with him because he thought he was royalty. He wasn't a king. He was not a king. He might have thought he was. We're a criminal organization. And that's as far as it goes. He got delusional in his thinking. Anything other than that. That's Paul Castellano. He lost it. When you start thinking you're not a criminal anymore, when he compliments the cops, they're the heroes, you lost sight of what and who you are. Yes, and all this stuff is a beautiful thing. It's a this and that. Sure, he was on the top ordering everybody to get murdered, killed, deal drugs, all other criminals. But those guys were what? What were they doing out there for you? What was it, social club? What was it? What'd you do on Sunday? Drink mimosas? See if you didn't bring Joe Bonanno money. He got banished to Bogey Land. They sent him out to the desert. He's lucky. He's lucky he didn't hit a home run. He had a couple of sons. I don't think they wanted to kill all of them. I always wondered why they didn't clip him. But I think it was that he just knew too much, and the sons knew too much, and they just gave him a pass.
All right, can I push you one more time on this? Okay, one more push, and then I might ask you my last two questions. You and I talk every day, several times a day. We've talked probably every day since I met you. I don't know if a single day has gone by we haven't spoken. A lot of times we talk about that life. I've never heard you one time, not even once, damn that life or damn the people in that life. Never heard you even talk bad about it. A lot of people, even people in your position, oh, fuck that life. That fucking life's treacherous. You don't talk like that privately. Now, again, this is a pre-record. I can cut this out if we need to. But I think it's worth asking you. We've been out before. And I remember one time I showed you a photograph while we're drinking champagne and there's music playing. We're having a good time and partying. Then I showed you this picture that came in. I won't say the name of who it was. And you looked at it. I said, yeah, this is a brand new picture. It just came out of this certain guy. And you looked at it. And you really and after you looked at it, your whole mood kind of changed. And it hit me. And I asked you, I said, you miss it a little bit, don't you? And you said, yeah, I do. You told me times that you go out, you smoke a cigar. Sometimes you're sitting there smoking a cigar, and you think, "I wish I was back smoking it with my brothers from the life." So the way you speak about it to me personally taught me a lot. It's in you. It's in your blood. It's in your breath. It's in your voice. It's in your eyes. I look at you right now. I can see it on you. It has to mean more to you than just a criminal organization. And I wonder if that's what it meant to Joe Bonanno.
No, I agree with you. Like you said, when you opened up about him and the beautiful life and all, yes, it is. But in the basics, you can't be controlled without being a criminal. You're swearing to be a criminal. Now, the other part of it, the glory part of it, the nice part of it, the fraternity part of it exists. And it's not a perfect world there, but if you have those bonds with certain people, certain guys that you can trust with your life and in that life is very special. But you know, at any time that could be betrayed. Now, going back why I don't knock anybody, who am I to knock anybody? Again, no excuses, right? I could give you, we could go back to that. I still jumped out of the life. I still decided to quit at that time. And we've had shows about why and all this other stuff, right? So I changed the game. For whatever the stimulus was that made me do what I did, I can't knock what I liked, appreciated, and loved at that time. I can't say now sour grapes, bad divorce, husband and wife on the other side. It was always no good. She was always no good. That one cheated. This one cheated. Oh, they cursed me. They treated me wrong. I should have dealt with that then. I go back to then. That's probably one of my faults to go forward. I always go back to then. Because then in the moment, before I got caught that last case, I had a case in Atlanta. I had fun. 20 years and up. I was in Atlanta. They brought me down there. They never thought I had fun down there on trial. Never crossed my mind. Never did. I came back and I assumed my obligations. I didn't run away. I went right back into the street. My ass got burned with that case. Part of life. I didn't belong in that case. Case nonetheless. You eat it and you go through with it. So, yeah, why would I curse people that I liked then because certain people made a mistake with me and hurt me at that time? And I made that bad decision. For that, at that time, it was that decision. So why should I curse everybody in that life? They didn't do nothing wrong to me. Everybody else did. That's what bothers me. All those other people didn't do nothing wrong to me. So why I got to say that life's a bad life? I was in it. I loved it. I reveled in it. I got the fruits of it. Money, the power, the carte blanche everywhere I went that people knew me. Everything I did there. My families got treated great. So why I got to knock it now? Because I'm not part of it no more. Because somebody hurt my feelings at one time. No. They have their life. They're in that life. And I'm not going to be able to talk negative about it. If there's a time I need to speak negatively about a person in a story and they take it as a negative, it's going to come. But it's going to be the truth. It's not going to be me going after anybody. It's not going to be me having vengeance for anybody. I could have done that and tried. I could have lied all day long. I hurt a lot of people. No way. I had a problem telling the truth, never mind lying.
Wow.
How do you live with that? I had a problem living with the truth, and I got to live with I hurt somebody in a lie. Not going to happen. So, I can't knock the people in that life, except for when I hear a tape of somebody talking about a man getting murdered in front of his house. That upsets me. And again, I'm nobody to be upset. They say, who wants to hear this guy's opinion? But that's my opinion. You asked me, I'm telling you. So wow. I hope I'm clear on that. No. No matter how bad people think that life outside society wasn't in that life. So how they view it is a positive things. They have aficionados that like that life, or there's people that have disdain for it. and frown on it. I respect both views, but you weren't in it. You weren't there. I watched Bobby Borriello getting put in an ambulance when he was dead. I went to the morgue and see my brother dead. I seen the bad stuff in his life. I watched Frankie DiCicco die. I've seen other people die. I see my friends as a kid, OD, guys that would have been great wise guys, shooting junk in a schoolyard, 14, 15 years old, and dying. So we all see it. This is part of the life that we grew up in the city and everywhere else that's been going around in the world. You develop a metal and an affection for something where and how you grew up. Can you reflect and talk about the bad things of the life? Yeah, well, I'm not going to knock anybody in this position. I should have done it then. And I did do it at times. I had talks with people. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, we should do this, we should do that. Fell on deaf ears a lot of times. And sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it helped. But that was that.
Michael, you astound me sometimes, brother. Next question. I'm going to ask you some names. Tell me the first thing that comes to your head. It can be a word. It can be a sentence, a phrase, whatever, however you want to answer it, okay? I'm just going to throw out some names. I hope I don't butcher this name, but this guy was part of the Maxi trials, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso Buscetta?
Tommaso Buscetta.
Yes. That's my next guy I want to ask you about.
Well, in the lines of a Joe Bonanno, the guy was a very regal, royal guy, protocol at utmost. I suggest that people who want, if they could get the subtitles, look at the Maxi trials on YouTube or wherever, any other outlet. If you could get subtitles, it's done in Sicilian with the trials. The guy comes off and speaks to that life in its purest sense. He's the only guy that I know, had the right to flip. They were slaughtering his family, everybody involved and not involved, women. He was out of the country and they still were going after him, his family members. And there's only so much. The guy tried to take his life, tried to poison himself. He lived. And they still going after people that he loved. So there's only so much you could go. And the way he conducted himself at those trials, because over there you're allowed to defend it, and the witness are allowed to engage in questioning each other. It's amazing. And I got through it a little limited Sicilian that I know, but I found some things with subtitles, or I had a guy sitting next to me that was fluent Sicilian and interpreted for me. And it really, really compelling about how this guy viewed the life. And it was sort of Joe Bonanno. He realized it was a criminal organization, but it was the fraternity, fratellanza, the fraternity for him. So very close with the American guys. I know somebody was very close to them in the States. They loved him.
Black jurors in Atlanta.
Hello out there, if they're listening. Yes. Yes. They got me acquitted. They identified what was going on with the government. And they thought basically it was a false prosecution. Very open-minded, seriously open-minded. They understood oppression and being abused. And they seen the government's case as such. I took the jury out to dinner, most of them. I think it was 8. After the trial was over that night, I took everybody to dinner. Didn't make any friends with the FBI at that time doing that. But we had a great time. And I, speaking with them throughout the night, they were great. They were great. They understood. They understood everything that went on. And, it was almost me being painted as like, here's this white guy in the South, and that's what I was told. You're never going to win. Prosecutor told me you're not going to win. We brought you down to the Bible Belt. And I guess to his chagrin, after he threw all his papers on the floor, he realized he couldn't win. But it was very enlightening because what they identified with really was I wasn't a racist. And it came out through one of the witnesses. The government witnesses, that I wanted my son to play in a basketball camp with black kids and Spanish kids. And the witness said that. You ought to see the way the women looked at me. No, Michael wanted his son. And the coach told me, Michael, you sure you want your son, my son Michael, you sure you want him to play? There's all these black and Spanish kids up there. I said, no, that's the reason why I want him to play. I want him to get to understand other people. I want him to understand the act of sports. You have no color in sports. That's the way I viewed it at that time. And I wanted my son to experience that instead of white Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Bath Beach, where we grew up. So I wanted to experience it. And this witness out of nowhere tells the prosecutor that. And there were those black women, well, just like that, look right at me. And I said, I got a shot here now. You know, they identified with that.
James Comey.
I have his autograph. I do. He signed my indictment, my last one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he signed my indictment.
Jackie D'Amico.
Jackie D'Amico. Jackie, fond memories with Jackie. From the first day I met him till today. You would want to hang out with Jackie. Jackie would hang out with you in 5 seconds. Jackie, I used to say, Jackie would talk to a tree if he was standing next to it and there was nobody else around. Jackie's got a tremendous personality, fun-loving guy, not a vicious bone in his body. I'm sure he didn't want any position he was thrust into that at that time. It was too much pressure for Jack. But he handled it well from what I seen and when I was in the street. Never changed. He never changed that position of who and what he was. Jackie liked to dance, liked to go out, eat, drink, hang out with guys all day long. He can hang out. One of my nicknames, well, I had a couple for Jackie nicknames. One of the nicknames was Diner. You call everybody, come to the diner. You have 20 guys waiting. As many phone calls as somebody can make for him to get people there, just hang out and laugh. No street business. It's camaraderie. Great guy. And the other one was Christopher Columbus. Because when John Gotti gave me and Jackie all 18th Avenue after the Gambino brothers were in prison, they gave Jackie and I that whole responsibility. He thought he found America. I told Jack. Jack, you know where you are right now? This isn't virgin territory. There's scorched earth. Look at all the grass that's burnt from here all the way down 18th Avenue. And ironically, the street was named 18th Avenue, was called Christopher Colombo Boulevard. So I say, when I would tell somebody, or I would have tell when they would be looking for me, because I used to duck them a lot. I would have to, I just wanted to rest. But Jackie he was ever ready, bunny. He had energy you can't believe for an older guy like that. Just a great guy. He would say, Christopher Columbus is looking for you. Oh, no, tell him not around. No, you don't show him. Come on out. And where we meeting is the diner. All right, go to the diner. Where we meeting here? No, Jackie was a great guy. And I have nothing bad to say about Jack. I can't. He pinched my finger. That's number one.
I didn't know that one.
I have a story I will tell about Jackie. Something that Jackie don't know. There's only one person for sure, and he's dead. John Gotti knows. And maybe if John told his son, he may be the only. Nobody knows the story. It's never been told. But I will tell it in the future when we talk about Jack in depth. Well, Jackie, I wish him the best. Hope he's in great health. I know he's still smiling wherever he is. I know he just wants to hang out, eat, and drink, and laugh. Not to say he was a goofball. He was not. But he wasn't in that other mold that John would pick as a skipper. That tough guy, serious mold. Jackie was John's friend. John realized how big a friend Jackie was too late.
He's my friend and I love him. And I'll be here every day, Mary.
I'll just throw a little anecdote in there. I always found you and Jackie D'Amico as guys from that era that I found very interesting. And a lot of times I feel like Jackie takes a bad rap with things people say about him. But when I study that life, I feel like because people say he was sometimes a hanger on and stuff. But what I look at Jackie is, in life, everybody has to learn how to play their position, to play their role,
Right.
and be the best at your role. And he wasn't John Gotti, but he was Jackie Knows. And in my mind, the things I read about him and things I see, that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that life needs people like Jackie. It needs people who can, be exactly what he represented to that life. I think he's an interesting guy. I really find his story interesting.
Well, Jack was, I'm not going to say under the radar, but Jack wasn't an influence. No matter how many times you see him on the news with John didn't put Jackie in positions to do certain things. Other captains and other guys did them in that life. Jackie was more John's companion. Jackie picked him up almost every day. Once in a while, he had other guys do it. But Jackie was the guy every day. Jackie was a guy, I guess I'll lead into what I want to say in the future. Jackie was a guy that John could fall asleep in the car and not worry about Jackie pulling the gun out and shooting him in the head. He knew Jackie wasn't that guy. And he knew Jackie could never be compromised because nobody would ever try to compromise Jackie to do that.
Wow.
Even though, it's a treacherous life. But John, I think, realized that when he just before he went away, what kind of good friend, how wise guy, friend Jackie was, and how much Jackie looked up and idolized John. Because he did. Again, I got some stories about that in the future. It's just a shame that John realized it too late. But he trusted Jackie 100%. Like I said, he knew he wouldn't have to worry about Jackie having betrayed him in that life.
Last one I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to ask my final question. So here's the last name. Tell me the first thing that comes to your thoughts, or whatever you want to, whatever it makes you feel or think. Cosa Nostra.
I think of a fraternity, a brotherhood, an outside entity that has its own system of justice, that's its own vehicle of earning a living. In its purest sense, loyalty to a cause, in its purest sense. The members in it change it through time. That's why you have blocks of time from the inception till today. The people change. In its purity, the concept didn't change, but the people change it, which changes what happens in it. Again, and not to say they didn't kill anybody in Sicily. Of course they did. It was always this thing of vendetta. You do something wrong, you got to defend your honor. It was a thing of honor at that time. You could sit down and have a discussion about really who's right and wrong without having too much politics in it then. When it came to the United States, there was nothing but wars. The people would kill each other, jockey in position, this and that, who's the boss. I give you a little saying I was a kid, and I was sitting with a whole bunch of Sicilians. And I mean kid, not in my teens or my 20s. Sitting with a whole bunch of Sicilians, and they're talking about Sicilians and this and that. This was probably in the 80s. Of course, there was that war going on over there. And out of nowhere, it just came to me, and I says, you know what? You know what your problem was in Sicily? And then all these Sicilians are looking at me. What do you mean there's a problem? I said, there's too many Sicilians in Sicily. You're all killing each other. It changed. So in its purest sense, it's a fantastic organization because it's networking. It's just what goes on through time and made it a pretty much a bad thing, where it became Cosa Mio, not Cosa Nostra. Not our thing, it became my thing.
Last question. Before I ask you, I'm going to remind you, this is a pre-recorded show. I can do any edits you want. I can cut it out if you don't want this on.
I don't want you editing anything. Go ahead.
Well, but I want you to answer this question honestly.
Go. Why I haven't been honest?
No, you're always honest. That's what I like about you. So my last question. I'm going to read you 2 quotes. All right. RJ, I won't do it on that date. It's my wife's birthday. I won't miss her birthday. She's the only person that stuck by me the whole way. Quote number 2. RJ, if he would have gotten 20 years, I would have waited for him for 20 years. I would have never left him. I would have waited faithfully for 20 years.
That's loyalty. She should have got straightened out. It was a Brooklyn girl that could have left in 5 seconds when I got arrested. There was things she had that she could have kept, including an under 2-year-old at the time. She could have left. Most women would have left. Most women did leave with guys who did what I did. Yeah, there's some very loyal. I know a girl stuck over 30 years, 35 years going with the guy. Still with him today. There are people who stay. But it's far and few between, and it was easy for them to leave. So that's a loyalty. Better than getting your finger pinched, I guess, for her. She did it without getting her finger pinched. So, something I'll never forget. And I'm bearing the fruits of it since I'm home, since I've been with her. Loyalty goes both ways. Hence, I don't go do anything on her birthday or any other day that means anything to her.
Great show. I really enjoyed this one. Thank you.
No, thank you.